Good evening, everyone. Welcome. My name is Steve, and I am a ventriloquist. Now, for those of you that do not know, a ventriloquist is a person just like me who has dummies for friends. So look next to you. You may be a ventriloquist too, I don't know. You know your friends better than I, okay? And I've been very fortunate. I've been able to travel all across this great country of ours and perform for churches like you, as well as cruise ships and associations and corporations. And it has become increasingly more difficult to travel as a ventriloquist, if you can imagine. Let me just give you an example. Not too long ago, I was in Tyler, Texas. I don't know if you've ever been to Tyler, Texas or not. Small little town, even smaller airport. I did okay going into Tyler. It was when I left the next day after the church the night before that I had the slight problem. Let me explain. You see, when I fly, I always take a big trunk like this and check it in the cargo hold of the plane. But just in case this trunk does not make it, I always take a carry-on bag that has a ventriloquist dummy in it, just in case. So at least I'll have one character with me. And just so happened that this particular day, I had a character with me. He's here tonight. You'll get to meet him. He's a curmudgeon old man. And it's nothing more than habit, I promise. But I always place him into his suitcase on his back. So if you were to open the lid, there he would be looking up at you. So get that picture in your mind, because I get to the Tyler, Texas airport for a 5 a.m. flight. I'm one of 3 passengers and only 2 TSA agents in the entire airport. I check my trunk. I proceed to the security checkpoint with my carry-on bag and place it on the x-ray machine belt and watch it go through the x-ray machine. And as my bag goes through the x-ray machine, I see the one TSA agent standing there watching the monitor. I see his face go from this to this. Well, I know what he sees. He sees a small body in the suitcase go by, you know. So he looks over at me and said, "Sir, I need to check your suitcase. Is that okay?" And I said, "Sure, go right ahead." So he takes me and the suitcase over to a separate table. And about the time he starts to unlatch the lid and lift the lid, God puts this thought in my mind. "Steve, why don't you have some fun? Start his day off with a laugh. He'll appreciate it." So just as he unlatches the lid and lifts the lid, and he looks down and he sees that old man dummy staring up at him, I go, "Hey, shut the door." And he freaks out. He throws his hands in the air, he screams, "Ah," and he starts backing up. And I started laughing uncontrollably. How was I supposed to know that the man had a puppet phobia? I didn't know. And I started laughing uncontrollably, not because of the man who obviously has a phobia of puppets, but because in my mind, I'm thinking this man who is scared of puppets is supposed to be protecting me from terrorists. So after my 6.5-hour security delay, true story, he let me on the last flight out of Tyler back to Charlotte, which is my home. I learned a very, very valuable lesson that day. No more fun for me with the TSA. 2 most frequently asked questions that I get are, "Steve, how did you learn to be a ventriloquist? And how does ventriloquism work?" So let me just answer the first question first. How did I learn to be a ventriloquist? I have an uncle, Uncle Bill, who lived to be 96 years old, who was a performing ventriloquist with Ringling Circus. So when I was out of school, I was allowed to travel with him, and I learned the ventriloquism from my Uncle Bill. And the way that he got me started, I was 7 years old when he got me started. The way that he got me started was by giving me a handful of marbles, and he told me to put those marbles into my mouth. Now, don't try that at home. It's very dangerous, okay? And then he taught me to pronunciate with those marbles in my mouth. Then every day he would let me take one marble out. Then after I lost all my marbles, I was a ventriloquist. Think about it. I play with dolls for a living. It's true. But this first character that I want you to meet is in every show that I do. Reason being is he is the very first character and personality that my Uncle Bill and I created together when I was 7 years old. His job is to introduce me, tell you a little bit about what I do. Please help me welcome Rodney Duckerfield. This is Rodney. Yes, sir. That's me. Right. And your job